motherfuckers! Long night, everybody else, and Twisty Boy Sauce. I welcome back to Pokemon Reborn, motherfuckers. You excited? I'm excited. I'm ready to be fucking gaming, dude. I'm ready to fucking play some fucking Pokemon, man. Oh shit. Love this fucking music, dude. With that being said, welcome back to Reborn. Okay, hold on, I want to do the thing. Because I didn't like that. So we're gonna go like that. Go like this. Because for some fucking reason, I don't like it, dude. I don't like it. Oh, come on. Sure, that's fine. And then I can go down here and rock out and shit. And Okay. Should I bring it up a little bit, or is it just straight white? Oh, that's just straight white. Good enough. Alright. Motherfuckers. Welcome back to Reborn. We have Slugma. And then we got a shiny Parasect. I'm playing for 16 hours. Cool. Ooh, snizzy snap. Got the fire sick ass fucking music. Okay. So we were on a quest for a shiny Spinarak, and I played a little bit in my downtime, cause something was going on. I can't remember what was happening, but I had some quiet time and I was able to play for a little bit, and I went shiny hunting for Spinarak once again, and could not find it. No idea where it was. Because, like, we ran into, like, 3 shinies at a time, and then the one time I get prepared for it, because I only had, like, 3 Pokeballs, so I caught all of the shinies, except for one. I caught the Spinarak, and then a Spindle. Spindle? It was a somebody. It was a bug-type Pokemon. I can't remember who the fuck it was. But yeah, we were looking for a Spinarak so that way we could try to replace our other Spinarak. But I think Parasect might do too. Because it has drought, so if it's raining it regains health. Which would be good if I'm fighting a water-type gym. But I loved Spinarak because it had the sniper ability. So I figured we'd try to look for another, spend a little bit of time looking for another Spinarak, and if we don't find one, then we'll just move on. You're Spinarak, but you're not what I'm looking for. Also, I think this game goes by real time, because I was playing during the day one time, and it was daytime. It was still raining, but it was daytime. Oh, come on. Now you're just teasing me. And then now that I'm playing in the nighttime, the sun's down, and now it's nighttime here. So I think this game goes by real time, which is cool. I dig that. Now you're just teasing me again. Because that was the other shiny that we found, and then it got away because I ran out of Pokeballs. And now I'm prepped and ready with Pokeballs. I sat there and fucking pressed the button a million times and got a bunch of XP, small XPs. I don't have you. Alright, Trubbish. Also, I'm really debating on getting coughing. That works. That works. That doesn't work. Fuck. And then Pokemon up to level 35 will listen to me. Doom, 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 doom. So maybe I'll just continue on, but stay in this area a little bit. Because I think I have to stay in this area a little bit anyway. Because there's a... Isn't there like something going on here? I don't know. It's been a week. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, something was going on in Team Meteor? Team Mediocre? Oh, you again? Coming to take what's ours once more? Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, Team Meteor, Ringo, Venipede, Bug type. Didn't think it was gonna be very effective. And I don't think you could be poisoned, but I have a plan. Okay. Defense harshly fell. Swap out for Noibat. What? I thought if I swap... Okay. Error Cutter. Catawapow. Sick Nasty. Nice. Lunatone. Switch out for Marshtomp. Because I'm pretty sure it's a rock. Rock and Dark? Rock and Psychic? Probably Psychic. Can't Psywave also paralyze me? Isn't that a thing that can happen? That was a cool sound. But I'm pretty sure that's a thing that can happen. Nice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not what I'm looking for. Shit. Should probably run out and heal my Pokemon quick. Because I don't want to use my potions and shit just yet. I don't even think I really have any. Might as well. There's no harm in it. TheHomieRjay. 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 Oh, you son of a bitch. Stupid fucking Spinarak. Whatever, dude. I was really hoping to catch you live next time you stream. Add me on Discord. Why would I do that? Why am I adding you on Discord? Appreciate you coming through, though. What up? But why do I gotta add you on Discord? Thanks for saying you like the stream, though. Suntole? Sound like a Pokemon. Suntole? Fucking A. Let me throw. Growlithe? Growlithe? I'm so tired. Every day we send men out to look for survivors. Every day fewer come back. Then we sent out. Wait, what? Oh, fewer come back than we sent out. I can English. Alright, where the hell? Oh yeah, I have to go all... Wait a second. Yeah, that over there was the grunt. I gotta go all the way through here. And then... down... right. And then it's the first Randy. Nope. Second Randy. Second Randy. Bum 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 bum. My dudes are all healed up. No. I was thinking that I should train oops. I should train Parasect in that garden that's over here. But I don't see any point in doing that because they're all lower levels, so it won't really do much good. Won't really do a whole lot of anything really. And just sit there and just whack down a few. I mean, I could shiny hunt over there, I guess, but there's really no point. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then Noibat made it so I can go. Just want to run through here real quick. Just thought I'd do a double check-sies. I do a double check-sies. Oh, I still can't go through here anyway? Question mark? Yeah, I need to know strength. I don't know strength yet. Do I learn strength here? I wonder if they drop a TM or something. Oh! You come back for round 2, do you? I'm pretty sure I killed you last time anyway. Can I poison you? I don't think so. You're a bug. Okay. You're not getting away from me this time. Oh, now I'm paralyzed. That's fine. Okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Slowly let the poison kill you? Or... what? What's Parasect holding? Tackle. I don't want to use Fury Cutter. What does Spore do? I didn't think it would do anything. It's already statused. We'll just let the poison get it low. We'll be fine. We'll try a Pokeball real quick. See what it does. Oh, fuck yeah! I don't think I'm gonna use Scatterbug though, because I'm not the biggest fan of its final evolution. Do you want to send a party member to the PC? No. But that's awesome. We got another shiny. Fuck yeah, dude. But now the one I'm looking for. But that's the one that got away from me last episode. Because I didn't have... or it was a variant of that. Shit, Trubbish is paralyzed. Do I have a paralyze heal? Full restore. Paralyze heal. I only had the one, but that's fine. Boom, 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 dum, 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 dum. Alright, where am I supposed to be going? There's like a tree or something that I could chop down over here. Or no, that's another bush. But yeah, there's like quite a few shinies in here. Cause I caught the Parasect, I caught the now the Scatterbug, and then another one, which is why I'm thinking that there would be a shiny Spinarak in here. Okay, I already battled you. I have not battled you. This little kid lost in the woods. No, you're something else. Hold it right there. I ain't moving, Cap. I ain't moving. Wait, where's my friend? Where's my friend at? A Skitty? Oh, Marshtomp would not be good. Okay, hold on. We need to acid spray you ASAP. And then Mud Bomb Skitty. Yeah, we need to get that grass Pokemon out of there pretty fast because that will be bad against Marshtomp. Shit. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Okay, we need to get... Oh, no. Keep Trubbish, keep Trubbish. Acid Spray one more time. Or do I use Toxic Spikes? Because either way, one of them's going down. Okay, here. Let's go like this. Let's Poison Gas. Wait. Whoa, wait. Does Poison Gas work on both of them? Oh, no way. Okay, and then we'll swap out for... Noibat. Noibat could use the training. Fuck. Trubbish is immobilized by love. Razor Leaf. Strengthen the attack. Okay, we're good. And we're good. Cool. Ow. Ow. Poison Gas. Air Cutter. God damn it, Trubbish. Nice. Cool. That's not double. That's triple. Servine? You were my other choice that I was gonna go with. Okay. Maybe that's the problem. I'm trying to attack that one. Okay. And then just use Air Cutter again. It's not... I wasn't attacking Skitty, though. What the frack? Wait a second. Wait a second. It said it was immobilized by... Fell in love with Skitty, but attacked Servine. I was gonna go with Servine. Okay, you can stop attacking Noibat now. Oh my god. Hang in there, Noibat. Oh my god. Do it anyway. Do it. Nice. And then take it out, Noibat. Yes! Good job, Noibat. Marshtomp still got XP. What the fuck? Okay. Noibat's gotta go. Acid Spray you. Noibat's gotta move. Marshtomp's about to die. Don't want to send out... We'll send out Electric. Yeah, sure. Special defense harshly felt. I'm not sure if... I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not going to use an electric type move because Electric can absorb it. Nice. Good job, fellas. Something else entirely. Ugh. I got 200 schmackaroos. Alright, that's the homie over there. I can't even get to that tree if I wanted to. Can I? Yeah, no, I can't even get to that tree if I wanted to. Okay, but I do want to go back and heal up my dude, so I'm going to run back through. But I'm also shiny hunting, so it's, you know, it's not a bad thing. I'm not against it. Shiny hunting for that Spinarak. Fomantis. I don't think I've caught a shiny one of you. I don't think. Ooh, this is gonna be rough because that last Team Meteor Pokemon that I fought last time, it was a grass and poison type Pokemon because it was the Tangrowth. And if the grass is strengthened here, if it's the same type, I'm kind of flubbernucked. Because last time Trubbish carried because it wasn't very effective. I need a Pokemon that has Leech Seed. Oh, there's a Pokemon Center up here. What the fuck am I doing? Accidentally went this way. I was just kind of running through. Yeah, why did I go all the way out before? Must have been going to a mart or something. There's no mart near here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. No thanks. No thanks. Do 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 do. Doom 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 doom. Boom 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 boom. Damn. Wait. This game likes to hide things and things. Boom, 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 boom. Do. Oh. A Carnivine? Grass and poison. Not grass and poison. Planted its roots. Do you gain health every time for that? It does. That might be useful. I feel like my camera's out of focus. Hey! Why does it keep using ingrain? It's already ingrained. That might be useful. Because like I was just saying, if it's going to strengthen the grass type moves... Oh, it's just straight grass? I didn't know that. And then I'm just going to have to eat the attacks, because it's also going to be grass and poison, if it's the same typing. Carnivine knows Ingrain. So therefore, I could keep healing myself and eating the attacks. But if it's grass and poison, I'm also fucked because... Carnivine's weak to poison. Just proven. Thunder Brain be thunkin'. Nah, you fuck. Is gaining a lot more. Okay. Jesus Christ. Try again. Critical catch. Nice. Yeah, because I think I have the other monkey. Panpour. Go back and heal my dudes. Alright. Heal our Pokemon. Get back through there. Hopefully find a shiny Spinnerack in the process. And then talk to pink-haired lady. I think her name was Heather? Heather was her name? I could totally be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. But for some reason, Heather is ringing a bell. Fucking love Noibat. Love that little guy. Alright, you can get the fuck out of here. Stupid fucking grass type, non-shiny, stupid Pokemon. Now that way. Back. Back. Was it this way? Yeah, it was this way. Spinnerack! Carnivine! Get out of here. We don't need Carnivine anymore. Well, unless I do end up using it. Then I'll need to find another one. In case it doesn't have good IVs. Heather! I was right! Nice. I've got most of the others taken care of. Here, let me heal you up. Anyway, time to charge in there. This tower looks like it could be a good jungle gym for you. I see a way in. You do too, right? Up top. We're gonna climb it like the tower of... I've got most of the others taken care of. Here, let me heal you up. Oh. Well, this would have been cool. I see a way in. You do too, right? Yeah. But can I climb that? Oh! Oh my... Oh! I didn't know I could do all this! Wait, could I do that over there? No way! That was awesome! That was awesome! Okay, is there any more climbing shits over here? Okay, because they told me to be careful over here when I was running up over this way. Oops. Okay, yeah, I was going through here. And there's a bush. Okay, nothing. And then strength. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to check. I just wanted to check. Ouch. Huh. I don't need you anymore. You put up one hell of a fight. Me trying to catch that Pokemon. Come on. Quit teasing me. If you're gonna show me a Spinnerack, show me a shiny one. So I can add him to the team. Dim 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 dim. Bum ba da da dum. Dum 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 dum. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're not what I'm looking for. Alright, time to do some parkour. Yep. Yep, yep. Just making sure there's no... Wait. Why is this one missing? Okay. Can I climb this? Go up anymore? Whoa. Here we go. A hole in the ground shoots directly below. Jump? Yep. Woohoo! Oof. Is there any Pokemon? Is there any secret Pokemons? I found an XP medium, dude. Fuck yeah. Anything else? Any more secrets? Boom, boom, boom. HomieBabe. How's it going? I found a secret cave. A red shard. Oh fuck, we're gonna find Arceus. We're gonna meet God. When? I don't know. Who the fuck is this guy? Pretty good. Watching Avengers? Fuck yeah. Frames look like they're pretty okay. I dropped 300 at some point. But I'm sitting between 17 and 19. Oh, just bumped to 20. 1959, 2096, 1924, 1839. Yeah, frames seem to be doing pretty okay. Are you watching the first Avengers? I don't know when they drop frames. I wasn't paying attention. No, I just said I dropped 300 frames, 4% at some point. I don't know when that happened. Oh? I wasn't expecting anyone to actually come here. But that's fine, I guess. My name's Taka. What's yours? Solid? That's so. I assume you're looking for this thing, right? This Tangrowth has caused a lot of damage. All the destruction in Jasper is because of it. It's the first one. It was the next in line. You will like it. I like the first one. I liked it because of the Hulk. They did a pretty good job with the Hulk in that one. Still not my favorite Hulk. The Incredible Hulk will always be my favorite Hulk. But, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. All the destruction in Jasper is because of it. The pulse it's linked to has made this Tangrowth take lives, homes, and much more than that. Seems so far Loki is annoying in this way. Yeah, he's just a fucking... he's basically the youngest child that is just wanting to play God and made the wrong deal with the wrong people. And so I'm pretty sure, like those people will, like, royally fuck him up if he ends up losing. But yeah, it's just because of what happened in the Thor movie. He's just salty about it. Now he's just taking it out on Earth because of what happened in the first movie. But yeah. But you know, I'm sure it never wanted this either. Mutated, morphed, and altogether mangled. This is just the life that was chosen for it. To be honest, I just want to let it go. Tell it you've done enough. You're free to do whatever you please now. Okay, but if you do that, okay. Unfortunately, can you please do me a favor when you're in a good pausing point? I can pause right now. What's up? Fortunately, I cannot do that. After all, I'm with Team Meteor. Oh, what a bitch. Okay, yeah, that's a good spot to pause. Alright, what am I doing? What am I doing? Boom, ba-da-dum-dum, ba-da-dum-dum-dum-dum. I can't believe they're with Team Meteor. Whoa, plot twist. I'm gonna pee anyway, so it works out. I'm gonna play some RJ music. I need my nail box and a soda. Which one? Which shody pop? Which shody pop would you desire? Surprise you? I put my dick in a box. It's my dick in a box, man. Okay. Going on a clip break. Shody pop and your giant tower thing with the zippers on it. That's what you're talking about? The one that's on the... Not the mantle. The arbor? No, not that one either. Yes, it's tan. Tower, zippers, thingy, nail pod thing, and shody pop. With gold zippers on the hut. Yeah, that's what it's called. Alright, be right back. Hi, Charmander.
I need to find the artifact. It's the only way to end this. You stop the ether reactors from boiling us in our skins.
Whoa.
I will be in contact.
Whoa! Oh my god! I forgot we were playing a game.
Yeah, you can do that. I always thought you had to.
That's good to know.
Jesus Christ.
Packer got me a fucking good time.
You didn't tell me that I was supposed to be wearing brown
Yeah,
underwear.
for me, it's not necessarily about winning.
That's fun.
You
No,
should have told me to wear brown underwear instead of white.
Why?
Because you made me shit myself, Packrat.
Yeah. Bad Jover. No good.
Bad Jover. You're a bad Jover.
You're a bad Jover.
Wow. Oh no!
Does anybody have?
Great, come on!
Does anybody have any extra
No,
rockets they're not using?
Yes.
Yes, but only if you put them in your butt.
Why do you
Ew,
want rockets
no.
going in my butt?
So it would be funny.
No, not for me.
The shape of them?
Yeah, no, and I
You know
don't want
what
that.
I haven't done tonight, you guys?
You put rock. I got juice.
Come on, but I got a power slap. I got a power slap. Come on. Come on.
You can't touch me. I'm the Flash. I mean, I paid Torgy $5, so.
Oh yeah, eventually that comes back if it's consistent. You defeat it more! More!
Oh shit, I'm out of electric dudes. Ow. Eat it, Kevin. Eat it.
Eat it all, Kevin.
I think he's gonna blow. So we need to get his attention. Hey, pointy bitch! Scary. Hey, pointy bitch! Ah!
Oh my god. Holy shit!
Did he shoot at you? You're down?
A little bit!
How'd you go down?
You know, the way I kind of shot at him, like, being a badass like you, Slaya, and he kind of turned his gun on me. And
Well,
now
you-
I hear him getting closer.
That's exactly what we wanted.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
been busting ass in this whole place. How is he alive? The Pokémon Center! The Pokémon Center! I'm out! Why? What?
The 12-year-old's mad at you, bro.
That was insane.
I'm sorry, it's a Fortnite skin. What else am I supposed to do?
That was a sentence. Oh yeah.
That was a great sentence. A clipped sentence.
That is a sentence in the American language that was said.
By me. Am I the first to say that sentence or what?
You probably are.
You
Probably are. In that context, yes.
Isn't that why I can turn the fan off?
Yeah, I think so.
They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the fight in the 80s.
Scared me.
It's amazing.
Oh, I think I hung up on him. Oh. He's just stopped talking. Oops. I hear Foxy. Ha, wrong one. My bad, dudes. Alright, we're back. Taking a sizzly sip. Okay. So. I think I might do this. I just do this. Sure, why not? Okay, we're here, we're gaming, and they are with Team Meteor. What do I do? Oh, I'm looking for my controller. Surround him. I'm surrounded. Wait, why was that super low? Sorry about this. Whoops. By the way, one of my orders is to eliminate you, so don't take it personally or anything, alright? Heather, I don't think so. Ooh, the music! Now that I'm here, you better believe you're in a world of pain. Sorry, who are you? The name's Heather, magical maiden of the wind and hero to all. Right. As if a little girl's gonna do anything about it. Wanna bet? I could beat up all three of you at once. We'd like to see you try. Well, okay, don't say I didn't warn you. This bitch have a salamence? What the hell kind of kid has a salamence? What's the matter? You aren't suddenly afraid of a little girl, are you? Hey, Solid, these guys have really ticked me off. So I'll deal with them. I'm leaving the tang growth to you. Well, I guess this is fine. Let's see what you could do. I was not expecting a fucking salamence. That's awesome. Okay, Taka. Execute. Oh, this is sick. Toxic spikes. Leech seed, that's fine. Acid spray. Wait, yeah, you're flying type. I was like, why the hell is it not poisoned? Oh damn, that was a really harsh critical hit. Oh, and I'm confused. Fucking A. Fuck. Shit. Sorry, Electrike. Oh, you're not affected because it's ground type. Son of a bitch. Damn. I was not prepared for confusion. God damn. I wasn't expecting confusion at all. Well, good job, MrsMaaam. Holy shit. About to send out an execute. Yep, swap out Slugma. Oh, I could have sent out Slugma. What am I doing? There it is. Okay. So it's not a poison type. In case it's holding anything. The Oranberry, nice. Shit. Sand Tomb and Leech Seed. Okay, so it looks like a grass and steel type. Alright, peace out, Slugma. I might use a full restore. Super potion, that's fine. Nice. That's super effective. Nice. Speed fell. Fuck. Of course my speed fell. Goddamn. Oh! Nice! Way to go, Parasect! Yes! Nice, dude! Well, I tried. 4 hundos. So that's it. Is it? What a shame. Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but there's one last Tangrowth up in Burial Ward. It would be even more of a shame if something were to happen to that one too. Ah, and there's that. Solid, I think this whole place is gonna collapse. Quick, hop on, I'll get us out of here. Salamence, it's takeoff time. Oh shit. Sir, did you notice? That girl, she was wearing a ruby ring. Oh, really? Well, whatever. Back it up. We're due to move up to Rhydo Shrine. Wait, that's it? It didn't collapse? But the enemy base is always supposed to collapse after you beat the bad guys. This is a rip. Well, whatever. We made a pretty good team. And did you see? Those grunts were easy peasy. I swear half the time it took to beat them was just waiting for the Pokemon to finish falling over. What kind of challenge is that? Heather! Uh-oh. Heather, what in the wretched world are you doing here? I've been looking for you everywhere. Do you have any idea how worried I've been? I have a pretty good idea, yeah. What in the blazes were you thinking? Running off like that? Have I not made myself perfectly clear time and time again how utterly unsafe it is for you to be running about on your own. A girl at your age, even your mother wasn't... You're carrying her ring around again. No, Dad, why don't you go ahead and finish that sentence? My mother hasn't what? Do you actually want to talk about that? Please, Heather, not right now. Not here. Then when, huh? You always refuse to tell me anything about her. Or why this stupid ring is the only thing she left behind. If you cared about her so much, why are you so afraid of talking about her? Enough! You are untimely in pressing far too hard into matters which you do not and cannot comprehend. I have done all that I do for the sake of keeping you safe. And you won't even tell me what from. I don't need your protection, just ask Solid. I just took out 3 bad guys without breaking a sweat. I think you just want to keep me caged up. I beg your pardon? You did what? 3 of the evil people in the black hoods in the time it took Solid to beat 1. So think about that. Did they see the ring? What? Your mother's ring. Did they or did they not see it? What the heck are you talking about? Actually, you know what? Forget it. I'm sick of you always yelling at me over stupid things. Salamence, let's get out of here. I was about to say, let's get the fuck out of here. Heather, wait! Uh-oh. Drama! Leave this place. Do not speak to me or my daughter ever again. This is non-negotiable. Am I clearly understood? Nope. Then clean out your ears. You are unwanted here. Be gone. I don't give a fuck. I'm shiny hunting for a spinnerack. Fuck you. I can't believe that Parasect kind of... Well, no, I kind of don't really want a spinnerack. Parasect kind of carried. The stupid Pansage! Get out of here! No one cares. Oh. And there's another spinnerack. I know, Trubbish, you're not feeling so hot. There's nothing else I can do here? Just besides leaving? I need to come back here eventually with strength, but... As all Pokemon games, you gotta retrace your steps with full knowledge. Good thing I have video evidence, so that way I don't forget. Wait. Oh no, I can't get up there anymore! Aw, I missed the opportunity! Aw, wait, no, I'm just dumb. I'm just dumb. Because I got through there. I got all the way here from there. So all I gotta do is just break that tree. From... not here. Keep going. Skeeter bug. Oh, okay. Okay. And then... So now I can go... Okay, so now I need to go all the way back around. But I can't go up here. Anything in that rock? Cool. Green shard. Arceus. I'm collecting all of your things. Whoops. Yeah. Retrace my steps. Not that way. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I'm a Pokemon master, I swear. Skeeter bug. Not that way. Trust me, I'm a professional. I know exactly what I'm doing. Doom, 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 doom. What? Wait, what? Solid obtained pulse readout 05B. Plus dex updated. Wait a second. What? I don't remember finding this in the... I don't remember finding this in the... before. When I fought the other one. Unless they just gave it to me. Because I already had one in the Pokedex. Strange. I give up. I give up on this Spinnerack. I'm done looking for it. Okay. So, there was another apartment thing up on the top right, but I don't think I could do anything with it. But I wonder if I can now. Wonder if that's where I gotta go. I think it said Burial in Ward, and then they said something about Rhino or something. So I'm not exactly sure on where I have to go. Okay, yeah. Okay. Hello? Sorry, please don't bother me right now. I'm trying to think of a way to get out of here since the elevator is offline. My friend sent word to me a bit ago, but just afterwards all of these plans took over and I haven't been able to reply or even leave. She said I could stay with her, but how can I if I can't even... Wait, you? How'd you even get here? Are the elevators back online? Thank goodness. I'll go right away. Feel free to drop by my friend's house in Periodot if you want to talk. Who? Who? In here? Nope. Okay. Well, I'd just save somebody, I guess. A Beedrill. Interesting. Okay. Oof. So angry. Nice. Perfect. Perfect. Oh. It's Rage's building though. Uh-oh. We need to catch this thing before Trubbish dies. Nice. No. No. Cool. Thanks. We caught the wild Beedrill. I was lurking about the apartments. No one cares. I think I caught a shiny Fomantis. Something sparked in my brain telling me that I did that. That I did that thing. But there's something's also telling me that I did not do that. You're not the one I'm looking for. That's wild. 2 shiny scatterbugs? What the fuck? But I can't find a shiny Spinnerack? I dropped frames again at some point? When did I drop frames? Oh, now I'm paralyzed. Oh, great. Frames are looking good now. Wonder when that happened. Still paralyzed? Come on. Let me do a thing. Oh, fuck. You really paralyzed Trubbish in right just the perfect spot. Uh-oh. Well. Whoa. I wasn't expecting it to actually hit. Well, alright. Well, I killed one, so... What are the chances? No. Oopsies. But I already caught that one, so it's, you know, it's fine. But what are the chances? But what are the chances? No. Get out of here, Paris. What are the chances? What are the chances? What are the chances? What are the chances? The chances are ill. And Trubbish is upset. He's paralyzed and very low on health. Sorry, Trubbish. This is bogus. I just want to see what a shiny Reborn Spinnerack looks like. Because at this point, I don't even think I really want it. Because Parasect did good. Parasect did really good. I'm proud of Parasect. You know what? Whatever. I'm out of here. This is stinky. This is super stinky dumb. It is dumb. One more time. Last time. Last time. Okay, I'm out of here. Over it. Over it. Alright, Trubbish. We're gonna heal you. We're on our way. I'm done throwing you out, making you feel used and abused. You are a lovely, gorgeous piece of garbage. Oh, we already caught it. Uh-oh. Wait, it might not let us leave. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, sick! I don't have to do that anymore. Cool. Bum 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 bum. Oh, hello. In Periodot? Periodot was their friendo? Oh, cool. Calm down, calm down. Hey, you. Buddy. Just calm down, stop, think, calm down. Whoa. Wait, field effect read out 15. Info on forest field is now available. Cool. This guy's going off the wall bonkers. Burial. Cool, I can get there now. Doom, 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 doom. What? What's this? Can I read that piece of paper? No? Nothing in the rock? It's a house of nothing? What's the point of being here? What's the point of this house? There's nothing even in here. There's... Okay. Cool. There's just Pokemon walking around town. That's awesome. Okay. Pokemon. Electrek needs it. What are you holding? Protective pads. Lightning rod. I don't know what the protective pads do. What are you holding? You're holding a tiny mushroom. Give me that mushroom. Item. Take. Give me that. Item. Give. You can hold on to that. Sure. Just in case you get frozen. You know, because it happens. You found one, but we're still missing 4. Whoops. Okay, so here and then burial. So tired every day, yada yada. Okay, so I didn't see any coppers out there. It's so weird that there's just Pokemon around in the street. Yeah, I don't remember seeing any coppers about out here. Poke Snacks? So is that like a potion? It doesn't tell me how much HP it gives. How do I get there? Can I even get there? I don't remember seeing any coppers. Okay, let's just move on. It said that there were some in burial anyway. So that's where we're headed. Headed over to burial. And that one Pokemon is level 35, which is exactly what they... I'm thinking about that Clink Clank. Get out of here. Leave me alone. Actually, you need training, so... Sure, we'll fight. Yeah, you can't poison me. Can't paralyze me. Can't paralyze me. Cool. What's up, Copper? Ah, have the plants receded? A vine became violent when I approached it, and when it ripped through the ground, I was trapped back here. I suppose it's safe to leave now, though. I've got to get back to the station. Cool. Paralyze heal. Makes up for the ones that I used. Okay. One last heal. Just cause. Why not? Never hurts to heal your Pokemon one more time. Show your boy some love. And I don't see any, like, alleyways or anything. Periodot. Pokegear. Region map. Where's Periodot? Onyx Ward, Obsidia. Opal, Periodot. I'm gonna go to Periodot and look around? Because maybe they'll give me something. Periodot is the center? No, it's in here. Oh, you. Hey, my friend said you went and got her in Jasper. Thanks a ton. I'm so relieved to know that she's okay. I wanted to give you something for your help. Department store sticker, Tangela. Thanks. So can I get a Tangela? Department store. Department store is over. It's all the way on the other side of the map. Over in Opal, I want to say. Whoa. Spooky and ominous. Oh, burial bridge. A long ass bridge. Is that a desert? Abandoned power plant. There's a gym here? Pokemon may be able to smash it. I have blast powder. Can I use blast powder? Made from the powder of electrode, explodes to break up certain rock formations. Can't get in. Door's locked. Okay, cool. Long ass bridge leading to a gym. Gotcha. Understood. This music's so sad. I'm gonna cry. Do your thing, no bet. Red shard. Oh, this is fucking fire. Oh, I love this. I swear to God, this game has the best soundtrack, I'm telling you. Oh. A Pidgeotto? Nice! Fucking perfect! Fucking perfect! Way to go, Electrike. I kinda gotta pee. Nice. That was perfect. Nope. Nope. Get it out of here. Oh. That howl was from Sword and Shield. That's, Zemaz... No, not Zemaz... Zicanian? I loved that Pokemon's howl. That was my ringtone for a while. I loved that howl. Okay, I gotta piss, but you guys can jam out to this. This is fucking... That was fire. I love that. Record there. Oh shit! I'm loving this fucking zone. Alright, what Pokemon are around here? What Pokemon are here? A Pasarichu? Electrike? You might go. Endure. Nice. Oh. Wait, we might need to go get some more money to go buy some more Pokeballs and shit. Up. If there's a white and red version, I'm gonna catch it. I don't know what the shiny is for this one. If it happens to be white and red, that's perfect. Because then I can catch it in a Premier Ball. That would be awesome. I don't know what the shiny is for this. Tangela. Oh, that was critical? Uh-oh, fuck. Pokemon Center isn't that far away. Why do you keep using poison powder? Is that all you know? Nice. I should have kept using Spark. It wouldn't have been very effective, but it might have been able to paralyze it. That's what I should have been doing. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Cool. Nice. Special attack +2. Cool. Whoa! Electric evolving! A Thunder Dog. Wow, wow. Nice. Like it. I like it a lot. Oh, look at you. All stanced up and shit. Look at you. Alright, we're gonna go find a Pokemon Center. I love that howl, dude. I really do. Alright, tough it out. Tough it out. We can make it. We can make it. We can make it. Survived the poisoning. The poison faded away. Thank you. I'm not doing a Nuzlocke, but I don't like it when my Pokemon faint. I don't like it. I care about my little Poke Bros. Get out of here. Manectric. Oh, what a growl. Okay. Wait, do you still have the same ability? Just gotta double check. Yep, Lightning Rod. I loved Lightning Rod in Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I fucking loved it. Ugh, so many cracks. Oh, check the bush. Check the bush. Check the rock. Okay, nothing. We're good. So crisp. So perfect. Best growl I've ever heard. Oh, get the fuck out of here. You know, I'm over you. I'm sick of you. Okay, where am I? What place is this? Hold on, I want to remember this. Road in jungle or something? I was confused. I'm trying trying to pronounce whatever the fuck that was. Hi, Aridos. Hi. Is there like no Pokemon in there? What the fuck? Getting a lot of XP over here. Whoops. Kill it. Hoot Hoot deserves death. Nice. There's gotta be other Pokemon in here. Oh my god! I'm kinda mad that a Pokemon popped up. The base just started dropping. What the fuck? Get out of here. Hold on. Hold on. Where was this music when I was stuck doing homework? Oh. Fuck you, Ariados. They just started to howl. Get out of here, dude. Come on. Okay, I still got to hear it. It's fine. It was slightly interrupted, but it's fine. I'm never gonna make it out of here. Too busy listening to music, too busy trying to find a shiny. Does Relamps have anything? No. Ah! I fell in a hole! I'm trapped. Nuzleafs? Nuz, Zaza. Oh, hi. What? Hey, dumbass. How long are you gonna sleep in there? The fuck? Earth to solid. Anyone home? It's Vern. Yeah, hi. Remember the waking world? Frankly, I was starting to wonder if you were dead in there. Figured if my laughing didn't wake you up, nothing was going to. Well, fuck you! Fucking asshole. Seeing you trapped in that cave was just too much. Oh, fuck off! You don't suck my dick, dude. Dude, it's just like me. It's like I'm trapped in a cage. Dumbass. Fucking stupid. Face down in the dirt, utterly helpless. What the fuck? The fuck out of here. It suits you. Oh, eat him. Eat. You know, I hope you eat dirt. I hope you get trapped by a bunch of Nuzleafs. I was trying to get a Pokeball. Fucking dickhead. Oh, come on. Smile. Top Dog Fern's here to help you out. I'll gladly open the cage for you. If you get on your knees and beg, I'll... You know what? Yeah, you don't want me on my knees to beg. You want me on my knees so I can suck your dick. Get out of here. What do you say? No. Fuck off. You're not gonna do it. Fine, suit yourself. Rot in there for all I care. Later, loser. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, did he actually? Wait, come back. Wait. This is fucked up. Why'd the music fucking kick up all of a sudden? Am I actually like trapped in here? Chat, release solid, chat. Oh, thanks. Why'd the music get so intense all of a sudden? What the fuck happened? What Pokemon are in here? Is there no Pokemon in here? Is there no Pokemon in here? Okay, there are Pokemon in here. I was running through that grass for so long and nothing happened. Oh, there you go. Now you know a move that can actually hit me. Hello? Oh, it's Kane! Oh, hey there. Didn't expect you to be coming by. So, this is my place. Make yourself at home. Nah, just kidding. I heard Victoria was still missing and came up here to help and immediately got caught by some meteor grunts and tossed in here. So how'd you get out? A Chatta let you out? Wild. Well, thanks for coming by and setting me free. I was beginning to wonder when a knight in shining armor would show up. Better you than some bird. No offense to the bird. Shall we? What are we doing? You got anything in here? Got a Pokeball? A fucking turd? Nothing? Okay. Nice. Love a good paralyzed heal. Love an antidote. Fuck yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you, game. Oh, there's Kane. Okay, yeah, I can't go to the other cages. This is my cage. Wasn't expecting to find Kane here. That's cool. Okay, that way is blocked off. Nothing. Is this thing broken? I think it's broken. Let's try another one. Come on, give me a boost up here. Nice thrust. Okay, I've got this one. You have to pull all three of them at once. Heather! Everybody's here. It's a whole fucking party. The Nuzleaf made it that way so that only they could do it. Oh, surprise! Hello up there. How do you know that? I mean, it's obvious, right? Also, this place is kind of my backyard. Anyway, hi again, Solid. Sup, Heather? How'd you go and let yourself get captured? Just don't get caught, dummy. You two know each other? Solid helped me beat up some bad guys in Malchus. He's kind of my sidekick. What? Now hold the fucking phone. No, I'm not anybody's sidekick. I'm the main character here, obviously. So if anything, you and your Salamence are my sidekick. And I'm just working my way up to Salamence level. Right? But then my stupid dad showed up and yelled at me some more and blah blah blah. So anyway, I ran out again. Now we're here. Hi. What up? Running away from home is a pretty big leap. Whoever's in the studio in this fucking jungle is fucking... Nah, I do it all the time. I go back eventually. Usually I just go have a sleepover with my friend Shelly. She was her... Okay, wait. I'm gonna turn on the music a little bit. The music's got a little bit too intense for this zone. Okay. She has her own gym down in Lapis, so sometimes we just have a surprise sleepover. Anyway, it's good that you're here. Those guys in black are all over this place now. You can be my backup for taking them on. Both of you can. No partners, just backup? Yeah, I could probably handle them myself, so it's just in case. But you can't be my backup if you're stuck in there. So let's get you out. Everybody pull on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Good job following basic instructions. Okay, I'm gonna beat up the evil people now. Come help eventually, okay? Hold on, it's dangerous to go alone. Salamence, it's takeoff time. Did that little girl just fly off in an entire Salamence? Yeah, she did. I didn't see much of it as I was being dragged in, but I think this is a pretty big area. If Victoria and Borealis really are here, we'll probably have more luck finding them if we split up. Give a shout if you get into any trouble and I'll come running, okay? Consider this one knight in shining armor coupon redeemable at your local cane. Ta. Okay. I was your knight in shining armor, but you know, we won't. Okay, well, anything to make you fucking feel good, Kane. Okay, whatever. Okay, on a mission to find more Pokemon. I want to find a shiny Pasarichu. Actually, no, I don't, because I really don't want to replace Manectric. Because if I find a shiny Pasarichu, I might have to. This guy's kind of cool. This guy's kind of fucking sick nasty. Kind of like him a lot. But I kind of want to find one because I want to see if the blue is red, so that way I can put it in a Premier Ball. If I do, then I might replace him. Depends on the ability. Depends on the ability that Pasarichu has. And I'm finding a lot of them right now. So hopefully, I can find one. Crunch it. With the swiftness. Thanks. But see, that's why I like Manectric. I love the Lightning Rod ability. Lightning Rod, Poison Point, Flame Body, Levitate. Those are all great abilities. Rough Skin. Love Rough Skin. Get Rough Skin and give him a Rocky Helmet. It's double damage. I don't want to fight you. You can poison me. You're not nice. Only I can poison. It's only fun when I do it. I'm getting shiny greedy now. I just want all the shiny Pokemon. Fuck it up. Kill that Hoot Hoot. Burn it. If I find a shiny Hoot Hoot before anything else, I'm gonna be kind of pissed off. Because I kind of want all the Hoot Hoots to die of death. I hate Hoot Hoots. They're just invasive. They're just always there. No matter where you go, there's just always a Hoot Hoot. Oh, wait. Oh. How far-fetched? Wow. I remember getting my ass whooped by you in Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Got my ass whooped by a fucking... Wait, if I spark it, will I kill it? We'll crunch it. I've been slashed. And then quick attack. Pow. Nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. Getting a fucking Pokeball. Do not kill my boy. Oh! Oh! One more chance. One more chance. Get in the Pokeball. You son of a bitch. Cause I fell in a hole. I can't just heal. Oh, you fucking suck. Oh. Oh, you're a fucking boob and a half. Fucking boob and a half. Oh, fuck him up, Noibat. No. I only got 3 Pokeballs left. Ow, this sucks. Get in the ball. Get in. Alright, that's it. I don't care. Get out of here. You're just a stupid fucking Farfetch'd. Oh, but you're kind of rare though. Cut it. The target was cut down to size? What? What? He's trying to learn Roost? Ooh. Yes. Yes. Learn Bite. Or get rid of Bite. Learn Roost. Oh, that was bullshit. Now I'm like running low on Pokeballs. Fucking A. Wasted so many Pokeballs on a stupid Farfetch'd. Hate Farfetch'd. I just wanted them because I want them. Fill out my Pokedex. Oh, fuck. First the gym leader, and now you? Oh, man. Come on. Let me heal my boy. Starter versus starter, let's go. Water gun. Speed gonna rise. It's probably gonna go first now. Mud bomb. Yep. Speed's gonna go up again. I bet you're just gonna keep using that, huh? I missed? Okay, mud shot. Oh, fuck. Flame Charge is a good move for that Pokemon. Especially when it's an Emborer. Because it's big and slow. So if you up its speed with Flame Charge, that's pretty cool. That's good. That's good. Just trying to learn Rock Slide. Yeah. Alright, Mud Bomb, Rock Slide 75, 90, 65, 85. Lower accuracy. Lowers the target's speed. 85, 65, 55, 95. May lower the target's accuracy. Makes the target flinch. 75, 90. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get rid of Mud Bomb. Nice. Cool. Is that a cave? Am I in a cave right now? Is there trees in a cave? Where the fuck am I right now? Oh, nice. I'm gonna use that right fucking meow. Right fucking meow. Ultra Potion, regular potion. Use that on you. Probably should have used it on Noibat, but it's fine. Ultra Potion, full restore, cotton candy. Oh, can revive her from fainting. Yeah. Bring you back. Yeah, because you're lower than everybody else. Use my last cotton candy, and then use my last potion, use it on you. Nice. Okay, cool. I don't want to use my Ultra Potion. Okay, nice. Charmander, if you're here, can you send them to the Squish Realm? Also, Charmander, if you're here, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you being here. Oh, Shuppet. Oh. I like Shuppet. I fucking like Shuppet. Oh, fuck, I've been burned. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shitty tits. Oh shitty tits. Ah, fuck. Okay, we need to burn heal. I don't want to use my full restore. I want to save that for when I really need it. I have no idea where I'm going. Is that a crystal? Wait. That's a bot. Well, fuck. I know that. The cave echoes dully. Spark. I'm gonna say it's a flying type. Why was that not super effective? The fuck? Energy powder? It's a medicine. Energy powder. Every bitter medical powder, when consumed, it restores up to 60 HP to an injured Pokemon. Use. Oh, perfect. Perfect. 56. Okay, well, I want to go see what's up with that crystal. Is that collectible? Is that something I can has? Wait, that's a rock. Blue shard. A fucking Psyduck? What is up with this cave? This is a very strange cave. Fuck. I was expecting it to hang on a little bit. Cool. There's a Pokeball over there. Anything in that rubble? Ice heal. Jesus. You know, I say these things like I'm expecting something to happen. Oh. Okay, but why can't I get through here? Can I use blast powder? No, I still can't use blast powder. There's a Pokeball on the other side of the... What the... How am I supposed to get to these things? Well, I'm out of the cave now, so that's cool. The fuck? Whoops. Oh. Hello. Little pest sneaking around here. I am. Yes. 3 Pokemons. Malga. You're electric and flying. I figured it would cancel out. Evasiveness rose. A Duat? Nope. Wait. Nope. Duat's cool. I like Duat. Samurot's really cool. Psst. Pest indeed. 'Tis I, Mr. Pestman. Rock. Shrub. EXP candy. Noise. I really hope I learn fly soon. Cause I'm really far away from the Opal Ward. Oh hey, it's you. Okay, well I don't want to talk to you yet. Cool. Whoops. Burn heal. Nice. Apparently that's a thing that I'm dealing with now. Hello. Hi again, Solid. Keep it down. Team Meteor isn't far away. I've been following Borealis' trail, and he's definitely here too. But he's far from alone. By my count, there's gotta be 5 or 6 of their leading officers up there. Apparently someone shut down another one of their machines in Jasper Ward. So they're on ultra high alert. Huh? That was you? I'm impressed. Though it certainly doesn't make our job here any easier. I'll be out of sight just waiting for an opening. The second their guard is down, we're gonna get Victoria back for sure. That's right, Victoria got stolen when we fought the first thing. Okay, well I can't take that down. So what am I doing here? Can't do anything here. Okay. Okay, peace out. Do I want to go in there? I don't think I want to go in there just yet. Okay, there's a Pokeball that I can't get, another Pokeball I can't get. Can't get there. Pretty sure there was more down that I had to go to. Box, stairs, more stairs. Shove it. Is it gonna will-o-wisp me? Oh fuck, I forgot to order salute it. Fuck. Quick attack one more time. Oh my god. Can I catch it? Nice. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Manectric is pretty low, so we're gonna swap out... who? Noibat's pretty low too. We'll bring out Trubbish. Get Trubbish to 28, because everybody else is there. Shrub I can't get to. Morolol? Are you poison and psychic? Grass and psychic? I got one more Pokeball. Oh, you're gonna heal? Yeah, might as well just kill you. Not gonna deal with that. Cool, cool. Wait, that's a Pokeball I can get to. Elemental Seed. A rock is glowing with energy inside. It seems too sturdy to break or move. What? That's a heal. Do I want to heal? Everyone's healed up. Interesting. Okay. Can't do anything with that. Can't do anything with that either. Interesting. Okay, well that's just about all I can do here. Unless I can get... Oh. Cool. You're not holding anything. You can hold a berry. Hold the Oran. Can I use the blast powder here? I don't know how to use the blast powder. Cool. Love that. A Phantom? Man, I'm running out of Pokeballs. know leech seed? Man. A lot of good Pokemon in here. Okay, so if I go back out the way that I came, because I'm not sure if I was done exploring that area. I just kind of jumped into a cave and just full sent it. Okay, yeah, you. Screw off. The fuck? Okay, more grunts. Old man. I'm all for welfare. I'd rather give them money than have them rob me. Who? What? What are you doing here? Gentleman Ben, what are you doing out here? What are you doing with a dragon? What? What is this old man? Oh shit. Ah. Or who are you sending out? Oh shit, I guess I won't know. Alright, my bad it is. Munchlax. It's cut down to size. Oh shit, I'm gonna compare it. Oh, damn. That's one heavy fucking Munchlax. Holy shit. Yeah, nobody knows fighting moves. This is a normal type. That's one heavy Munchlax. I don't really care if people are fulfilling themselves or not. Okay. What a whack-ass old man. With a crazy heavy-ass fucking Munchlax. What? Timber? I liked you in Black and White. That was a good game. I'm awake. I'm awake. Damn. Are you fighting in ground? Or just fighting? I think you're just fighting. Steenie? I don't know who Steenie is. But it sounds like a steel type. Oh. Oh, it's you. It's you. Incinerate. Uh-oh. Okay. We're fine. In case it's holding anything. Didn't matter anyway. The forest caught fire? Oh my god! Slugma! You just burned the whole fucking forest down! That was awesome! Slugma, do it again. We must burn the forest down. What was that? Looks like it was just a live vine, Commander. Nothing to worry about, I think. Very well. I've received word from Sirius that our demonstration from North Obsidia is nearly complete. Thus, it's high time I left this farce behind and got on with our business. I will take the girl with me. Is that Victoria? Whatever riff-raff or league leader sticks their nose into our business, see to it that we do not lose this project as well. Understood. Who's that? Who's that? Okay, so now what? Gotta make my way all the way back? Or do I just keep... What do I do? What am I doing here? On a great ball. Nice. Use that for if I find a shiny. Go this way? Go up. Uppus? Uppus is good. Uppus is progress. House? Can I sleep? Ah! A survivor! Are you injured? I've gathered plenty of supplies here to last until the crisis is over. I've no idea where the original owner of this abode has gone to, but I'm sure they won't mind if we recuperate here in their absence. Would you like to stay a while and rest? Yes, please. Do be careful out there. Thank you. Thank you. Who's up first? Trubbish. Tree can be cut down. Chop it down. Put it up. Anything around? Oh, there's a rock. Nope. Shrub. Shrubbish. More shrubbish. Hey, aren't you the one we dealt with before? Probably. You guys all look the same to me. Marini. Oh shit. Field was surrounded by trees. Toxic spikes. I hate you. You have a thing about you. Oh, yeah. Not very effective. Either way, your shit's low. Stop using toxic spikes. I want to try to keep Trubbish out for as long as possible because I don't... Well, I suppose I can. That dude's right there. Might as well just keep lowering it. Not hurting anything. Yeah, and Bite's not doing a whole lot of damage either. Okay, their shit can't go any lower. So now we use Sludge. Oh. Well, good thing I didn't send out Manectric, because that was my next move. Hurt by poison. Acid spray. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. I don't want my dudes to get poisoned either. It didn't do the aftermath. Flying Pokemon can't get poisoned. There you go. Oh, well. Noibat fell straight down. Well. Alright. I was trying to avoid the poison, and I ended up getting people more killed. So, it did not work out in my favor. You absorb the spikes. My buddy used a Marini on me before, and he was like whooping my ass with it. So that's why I'm like kind of scared of those things. And I think the only reason why I won is because I had Mewtwo. Whoops. Okay. Since we're safe, I'm gonna rock a piss. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna rock a quick piss.
What the hell?
Got you. No. Fuck.
That was reloading.
Chaos. Oh shit. Yeah. Damn.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, wait, I wasted it. Oh, my bad. Oh, we both wasted it. Oh, shit. Well. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my God, it was all up in my face. Hi, Charmander.
I need to find the artifact. It's the only way to end this. You stop the ether reactors from boiling us in our skins.
Whoa. Interesting. I dropped more frames again at some point. Not sure when, but it's not bad. It's not as bad as it was before. Okay. Whoopsies. Drink some Wawa. H2O. H2O. Blue shard. It's a revive. Why are there bones in here? Greetings, Wanderer. We don't have many visitors up here since it all went down. Welcome to my humble home. It could use a bit of TLC, but no one else was using this building, so it's mine now. Ahem. Anyway, if I'm going to not starve to death out here, I'm going to need to start growing food soon. To that end, I'm looking for Sunkern. I'm very willing to trade one of my own prized Pokemon for it. Cryogonal? I'll even throw in a free XP share to sweeten the deal if you, I think I have one. Deposit. Trubbish. Withdraw. I think I have a Sunkern. Sunflora, your solar power. Sunkern. I do not have a Sunkern. But should I bring the egg? See what's in it? Fuck it, why not? Okay, and then we're off to look for... This guy's apparently eating people. Is there a Sunkern in here? Will I find a Sunkern? Found a Paris. I don't know why there's a revive right here when the closest Pokemon Center is not that far down. Freeze warning just issued. Oh shit. This man's plants might die. I might have to send her a message here. Alright, send her a quick message to see if she wants me to bring in her plants. Because she planted strawberries. A Gloom? Oh, I have a Gloom. That's right, I do have a Gloom. Gloom carried at one point. I remember seeing a Sunkern at some point. I remember seeing it. Okay, I'm not finding a Sunkern. I'll give it one more shot. One more shot. Cause there's a fucking hoot hoot. Trash ass bird. Yep, nothing. Teleric seed. Whoops. There's a guy. Out exploring, are we? Yeah. What are you doing? Endo? Fuck him up, Marsh Tomp. Rock slide. Squish it. Water gun. Fuck. Fuck. Right back to where we started. Except a little bit lower. Okay, if that's how it's gonna be. Yeah, okay, that's how it's gonna be. I forgot I had the egg. I just got it and I already forgot I had the egg. Right, that's all you're gonna fucking do. What? Okay. I used Spark again just in case it was gonna fucking roost again. Ivysaur? I don't fucking think so. Of course I put my slug to sleep. Burn. Burn. Flame body. Nice. The forest caught fire. The Pokemon was burned in the field. Nice. That's so cool. Just trying to learn Rock Slide. Sure. Okay, so Rock Throw does 50. Rock Throw. Yeah. Get rid of Rock Throw. Nice. I see you can take care of yourself well enough. Yes. Yes, I can. I know my Pokebros. My Pokemon are my pals. I love that I can catch the forest on fire. That's gonna come in handy. If I can poison them and catch the fucking forest on fire, that would be awesome. Ultimate move right there. Cool. Okay, did I already go all the way down here? I don't remember. Yes, I did. I fucking love Slugma. I love that he can just catch the fucking forest on fire. Whoops, nope. Okay, so I think I'm gonna progress into whatever the next part is. And then I think I'm going to get off. Giggity. Oops. Wait, where's out? Where's out of here? This way. I'm not sure where the next part even is, or where I'm supposed to be going. Is it you? No. Okay. Pokemon Center's over here. I don't have a Sunkern, so keep in mind I need Sunkern. Heal up real quick. Thank you. Oh yeah, it was up. Uppus. Borealis, you should not have come here. Oh, I'm gonna find another thing. It really is a shame. Ah, the audience has finally started to trickle in. I told you they would make their move eventually. So anyway, this is the trainer that defeated the Pulse and Jasper. I invited Solid to come here so we could all deal with the problem properly. Happy? Solid also took out the Obsidia Pulse. I am all too aware. It is so kind of you to volunteer for our act, but unfortunately you are not our star performer. The distinction goes to the clandestine girl clamoring about on our flank. Come out and face us directly. So much for the element of surprise. You kid yourself to assume you even had it. Why else do you think we've been amassed here? If you were going to get caught anyway, you might have saved us the time and shown up sooner. She isn't alone, moron. Oh, it's Fern. If I don't help out, you'll probably just get smacked. You can thank me later. Dartrix, let's show them some style. Looks like we're up again. Oh hey. For all your brave talk, you're still far outnumbered. You sure about that? Oh shit, Kane's here too? I'll be taking that coupon now. We're not about to go down easily. Tell us where you're keeping Victoria, and we can make this quick. Ah, but it's the same show, second act. Had you been sooner, the story might have been different. But the curtains closed, and the ships sailed, and all those other alternative expressions. Sorry, little leader, but she's long gone. And like her, we cannot abide by you all simply strolling in here as you please. No matter your rank or numbers, you cannot hope to face us. The only choice before you is to accept the situation you've allowed yourself to be trapped in, and capitulate. And what? What? Okay. As if we'd do something like that. Your heroism is mere vainglory? Allow me to remind you of the futility of your reality. Are you always this edgy? Like, sure? Everything is pointless, nothing brings true happiness, yada yada. But at least some of us are out here trying, yeah? That luxury is a privilege. Not all share. But this cannot be resolved by words. Crobat? Oh shit. Help me out here, deliverance. Salamence! Oh my god. I heard her fucking sound. What? I thought we were all saying the names of our Pokemon. What are you doing here? Stopping you bad guys? Duh. Now that I'm here, you're in for a world of hurt. This is getting bad. Just how many of them are there? Hey, Private, how long are you gonna stare stupid into the distance for? Get over here and stall her or something. Understood. Green-haired lady. Don't underestimate me. You'll be lucky if you can so much as stall. Well, we've suddenly got quite the crowd, huh? I'll have to ask for your attention center stage. You and I can work our magic trick here, little hero. And the trick is that I make you disappear. Ace of clubs. Holy shit, she's got 5 Pokemon. Tangrowth. Oh, Marshtomp, you are not the... What the fuck? Oh shit. Okay, if Marshtomp goes down, I have an idea. Set the world on fire. Slugma, now's your chance. Set everything on fire. Okay, flame body, nice. Flame burst. Oh, it's the Zorua. The forest caught fire. Nice, and the burn. Nice. Braxian. Braxian. Ah, shit. Sounds like a steel type. Marshtomp's dead. Okay, I might be boned. Oh, you are not who I thought you were at all. The blaze amplified the attack. Oh, shit. Trapped in the vortex. Hurt by the field. Oh, damn, dude. This is a bad time to have the egg. Flame charge. The blaze amplified the attack. Shit. And their speed rose. Not good. Okay, Slugma. Oh man, I really wish I had... Okay, ancient power. Son of a bitch. Ah, you're joking. Wasn't expecting a fire type. Okay, so we need to first send out Slugma, set the world on fire. Fuck. Fuck. And get rid of this fucking egg. Oh, and I lost all my money. God damn it. Damn it. Okay. I might be able to do it with the egg. I'm just mad that I'm losing all my money now. Alright, and then let's get through all this. Yeah. Party shows up. Come on. Salamence. Fuck yeah, badass moment. What? Okay, we're good. Yes. Don't. What about my mystic water? That's cool. Cool. Wait, did I lose the mystic water? Did it get like melted or something? Is that what happened? Ball toy. This dude got all the fucking shinies or something? Okay. $120. Okay. Oh, levitate. Okay. The blaze softened the attack. Okay. Okay. MrsMaam's down. Fuck. But we're okay. We're okay. We're good. We're good. We're chilling. We're chilling. Wasn't expecting that. Okay. Fuck. Ah, god damn it. The fucking speed, dude. Oh, I was doing so good. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Okay. Fine. Please stay seated. The main act has yet to come. Stamina raised? Wait, it's stamina raised. Nice! Okay. No. God, I hate that the speed. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? Full heal. Paralyze heal. Burn heal. Full restore. Oh my god. Oh. Shout out to Slugma. Holy fuck. Oh, so that's the show. Oh, man. Oh! Heather! Subtle. Crobat. Crobat, get her out of here. Borealis. Just what part of your orders included harming a young child? What part forbade it? But if you wish to talk of orders, Borealis, let us do so. What part of your orders bade you to let an enemy escape? I've no need to explain myself to you. Ah, but you will have to explain to the boss. And even I'm not looking forward to hearing how that conversation would go. One agent to another, I must admit, I'm confused as to your actions here. It seems our other friends' battles have led them elsewhere. As your sole other witness in the group, it may do you some good to reveal your intentions before I get the wrong idea. Wrong idea is the right one. He is responsible for the failure here. You're awfully quick to turn on one of your own. Should dogs not starve when they bite the hand that feeds? This is the natural consequence for insubordination. Go! Solid and Borealis too. Get out of here. I'll deal with her. Your naive and foolhardy sense of justice extends even to your enemies? I prefer to think of it as compassion. Get going already! Fine. Wait, what happens if I go back? Oh, you cannot. Well, that was wicked. Enough. There's no point in running further. Not for me, at least. Not weeks ago, that woman was just a lowly recruit. One promotion later, and now she thinks that she can do whatever she wants. And worse, because of that idiot girl, she will be proven right. 1,000 cautions were clearly not enough. And what is it all for now? There is no point in hiding it now. Because I've had a feeling like you were important. Because I moved to spare my imbecile of a daughter, I will be branded a traitor, cut off, and disposed of. I have treaded a razor's edge for years to keep her safe, only for her to ruin it of her own accord. Blast. But of you who has been witness to my undoing, I would ask of you a favor. Meet me at my home. It is not far from here. Face me as your merry band of vigilante fools would have bade you to do so. It is better to be undone at the hand of an enemy than one who purported to be a colleague. I'll be waiting. I had a feeling like that guy was important. Where am I? There's a mart. Oh, I'm gonna go to the Pokemon Center real quick. Okay. That got fucking deep. But, alright. We appreciate... Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait. We appreciate everybody that came out, goof, gaff, and laugh with us. MrsMaaam, appreciate you coming through, chill, chat, and lurk and do what you do. Probably Charmander, too. Charmander's good at lurk. But, anyway. That was crazy. And that was a lot that just happened. Took on 2 of the dudes. And found out that... what was his name? Corey? It was one of the leaders in... the Team Meteor guys? He was the one that he was the one who had the Crobat and stole Victoria. In the very first one. When we fought that first thing. So that was him. That stole Victoria. So he knows where Victoria is. Maybe that's why he wants us to go to his home. But we won't know until next Tuesday. But all the homies are down in the description down below if you want to go check them all out. The HomieRjay, TorgRare58, MrsMaaam, they're all down in the description. Doing things and stuff. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We won't be live again until Friday. Doing Arc Raiders with the homies. I have not touched Arc Raiders in a minute. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, stay safe, wash your hands, wash your motherfucking ass, get the drink, brothers, sisters, national world, see, smell, taste, say shit, what the fuck you're into. Peace out and whoop whoop. See y'all later.